Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Long time no see. What I'm doing today is I'm making a Thanksgiving stuffing as a run-through. I've kind of decided to change mine up a little bit, so I wanted to test it before I serve it to family members on Thursday. So I'm going to do that today, and soon I'll be making some of my microwave peanut brittle. Be sure and watch for that. It's so easy and so yummy. It's actually just a little too easy in my book because I eat too much of it. It's so good. Okay, in this bowl, I have about maybe a cup of celery and about 3/4 to a cup of onions. I've got those all done. I'm getting my pan going here. I'm going to put a little butter in it because I don't know how much fat is in this Bob Evans sausage. I know when I use fresh sausage, I add a little oil, but that's coming from the butcher and out of a hog we bought, so. And there's never any fat in that, I swear. It seems like there's fat in it, but there's never any left in the pan. And it's really, really good. But today, we're going to use some Bob Evans because I like the Bob Evans patties that you can buy in the store. And they're really, really good. I bring them home and put them in the freezer. And then I just peel off however many pieces of sausage I'm going to need that day. I actually haven't bought any in a good long while, but that's my favorite. Some of the sausages I don't like. I'm somebody that doesn't really like much sage flavor in my dressing at all. To me, it's overpowering, and I don't care for it. But if you like sage, you can add about a teaspoon or so into this recipe. I really don't think you'll need it, but all I'm doing now is I'm going to brown up this sausage and get it ready. Probably should have browned well, actually, I usually do my vegetables first. But since I put the sausage in, we'll do it first today. It doesn't really matter. Make it any way you want. And I think the day before Thanksgiving, this Wednesday, I'll probably get my sausage and celery and onions all browned and ready to go. So I don't have to do that Thursday morning to get it ready. I'm going to do the same thing with my macaroni and cheese recipe. I'll get everything ready and in the refrigerator until Thursday when I'm ready to bake it. And then all I have to do is cook off my macaroni and I'm ready to get it in the oven. Mix it up and get it in the oven. So let's see how that works for me this year. I've never done it. I've always got up early enough to get it all done before we leave. And we're having a 1 o'clock dinner. So I won't get there right at 1 o'clock. I want to get there early and be able to visit with family because we don't get together often enough. And I hope you all have something planned for Thanksgiving. We do when my niece Trisha is going to host it. It's just so nice to get together with her and Josh and the kids. I thoroughly enjoy myself when we're out there, and we have such a good time. Okay, now, oops. I'm going to finish browning this off. Only take about 5 more minutes. It's coming right on. It's actually browning faster than I thought it would. And before I come back, I'll have this browned. And I'll have my celery and my onions all sauteed and ready to go in. And then we're going to mix this up some stuffing and see how it'll work for Thursday. I just panic when I change things up. I'm afraid it won't be good. So I'm hoping that I'm just being silly, but when I take stuff to share, I really want it to be just better than good. I want it to be really good. Excuse me. Okay. All right. I'll be right back.
We looked out the window and the cops were leading some guy out in cuffs in their yard.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Got my sausage and onions are done. I didn't even have to drain any of the oil or anything off. It looks great. Let me stick this over here. Okay. It's plenty warm. Now I'm going to have to move you in a little closer because my burner's too hot to set my bowl on. So let's just see if we can't get you a little closer here. Okay. Okay, and a spoon. Okay, this will go together pretty quick. I know my meat's hot, but it's all going to go in a 350-degree preheated oven. And I haven't sprayed my pan yet with non-stick cooking spray. I have here 12 ounces of herb stuffing mix. I'm not really sure. I guess it's about 6 cups, according to this. It says half cup per serving, and there's 12 servings, so I'm going to assume that means 6 cups. We're going to pour that in. We're also going to pour in a packet from Stovetop Chicken. This is herbed, and I don't know that I've ever used the pre-herbed one, but the Stovetop, the herbs in it are a little strong for me. I like it a lot, and I'll eat it once in a while, but I would only use half the packet of the herbs if they still had them in packets. Now it's all together. So I always add a little more stuffing to it. Let's see. Salt and pepper. And this is to taste, so I just start out with a little, because some of the herbs are going to be salt in here, I assume. And pepper. Yes. I don't want too much, so we're just going to lightly sprinkle. This is a lot of stuffing. Want you to see all that. Now we're just going to add our broth. Excuse me while I move this out of the way. Okay. Okay, and this is a 4-cup box of Swanson chicken stock. You can use broth, you can use stock, you can use bone broth, you can use whatever you want. Homemade if you've got it. And I do in my freezer, but it's not thawed out. So we're going to pour most of this over it. And then see how much more we need. You have to give it a minute or so to soak in. I don't want it too sopping wet, but I don't want it to be dry either. And with this amount of dry stuffing. I think we're going to need about all of it. I hope you all are getting together, like I said, with friends or family, and it's just always good to see family and you know, let them know that we think about them often, and with everybody's busy lives, we just don't get to see, you know, now that our lives have slowed down, our kids haven't. They're still busy with their lives. And so they're at the point where we were when we were raising kids. Most of the kids are grown, mostly grown, or at least in the later years of high school. And this looks good. See how it looks moist, but it's not sopping wet? I think that's what we want. Okay, now, since I forgot, let me get my spray out. And if you don't have cooking spray, you can use a little Crisco or spray it with, or take a couple tablespoons of butter in there and melt it in the oven and kind of circle it around. You know, when the butter comes out, you just kind of do this to get the melted butter all over your pan. And now I hope I got a pan big enough. Wasn't sure if my bowl was going to be big enough, but it worked out just perfectly. And this is going to work out perfectly. Now I'm going to cover this with some aluminum foil and let it bake at least 30 minutes. Then I'll take the foil off and give it about another, say, 15 minutes. And we'll see how it's coming. You want to cook it till you're sure it's done. So I could be off on my time, but I'll fill you in at the end of the video as to how much time I kept it in the oven. You'll get to see the finished product. It sure smells good in here. That sausage and celery and onions made the house smell so good. Okay, and that's it for now. And I will be back. Oh, I should have showed you that a little better, shouldn't I? I'll be back with the finished product before you know it. This is how it looks. There's no liquid hanging around the bottom, but everything's been soaked in our chicken broth. You can use chicken broth, turkey broth, vegetable or vegetarian vegetable broth. You don't have to use the sausage. Our family likes it, so that's what I make every year. Oh, I have a baking stone in there, and it's on the wrong shelf. So I will move that down, put this in the oven, and be back in 2 shakes of a cat's tail. Hey, welcome back, everybody. I changed the temperature on the stuffing to 375. It's been in the oven for 30 minutes. We're going to check it and see if it's about ready or if it needs to cook a little longer. Ooh, that looks good. Smells good. Looks pretty good. Okay. It's warm to the middle. Yeah. Okay. You can't see it so well, so here's what it looks like. Looks fabulous. Put it in for about, say, 15 more minutes. Let the top get a little crispy. Okay. See you in a minute. Hey everybody, our stuffing is ready. Should call it dressing, I guess. Look at that. Just look. Oh my goodness. It looks so good. Can't wait to try it. It smells good. I think that's kind of a key point right there. That it looks good. Get some here. It is steaming hot. Here's my bite. Doesn't that look good? It does if you like stuffing. Mmm. That's perfect, y'all. It is perfect. It's got the right amount of seasoning. It's not overpowering. I think the only thing I would change, and I might not because I don't think it needs it, is I forgot I usually add a little bit of poultry seasoning to it. It doesn't really need it. Winter turkey dinner, we'll say. I'm not even sure what meat we're having. I know my dishes, and I'll find out when I get there. But, hey, it's good to be back in the kitchen, even if it's just for a few minutes. And I'm glad I got to show you this easy and delicious stuffing recipe. So if you need stuffing for Thanksgiving, I highly recommend this recipe. It's good. Everybody should like it. So till next time, thank you for watching me in Kat's Cooking Kitchen. Find me on Facebook and YouTube. Shoot me a message if you have any questions. Comment. I'll eventually see it. I usually see them pretty quick. So, have a great holiday. Enjoy, everybody. Good night.